Wise, SportsSpeak. Welcome. Hey, we're going to talk sports. And well, goodness gracious, I have Brother Dr. Scott Moody with us. Hello.
How are you, sir?
Scott, good to see you
today. Thank you.
All right. I know for a fact that you've been broadcasting some football games. I heard you. I saw you. And I know you were good. But tell me something about that broadcast, knowing what you about the Tigers.
Well, one of your compadres, Wayne Brasher, was doing it, and he asked me to help him. And so it really started with the Silsbee Lady Tigers basketball game. My daughter Mary was on the team, and so...
She was good.
Thank you. So we started broadcasting her games, and then next thing we know, the head football coach, Bobby McGallion, contacted Wayne and said, wanted to think about doing it for the boys football team, and so we did. And it called some real outstanding games. I remember the game against Kirbyville where Kirbyville wanted at the very last play of the game to beat us. It was one of the first times they beat the Silsbee Tigers. So that was a great game, being in the new press box at that time. And so it's had a great time. I remember the triple overtime when the Lady Tigers beat West Orange Star. We thought the game was over, and it extended even more. And so Wayne and I really enjoyed it, going to the various venues and calling the games.
That's great. I was 73 inches. You had to play some kind of ball.
I did. I played all sports in my high school. Had a great time. I was a wide receiver. Couldn't run fast, but I could catch. Guys like Freddie Blitnikoff, Daniel Bramowitz were the guys that I sort of modeled myself after. Raymond Berry, sort of a possession type of receiver. And so anytime a ball came my way, I tried to catch it.
All righty. Well, that's football, of course, you were talking about. You said wide receiver. See, I'm sharp on that. How about basketball or any other sport? Did you play?
I did. I did play basketball, and I also ran track. Our school only had 3 sports for the men, and so I played everything that we had. I ran the 2 mile in track and was sort of an inside man in basketball. So.
Yeah, Wayne explained that to me, something about how the basketball guys are different. They're not 2 guards and 2 forwards. Repeat that to me. How's that set up? I don't understand. He mentioned point guard, and I asked him what that, and he tried to explain it to me. I don't know if I got it or not.
Well, I played in the days where you had the point guard, you had the forwards, and then you had your center. And so basically, I played a forward position. I wasn't good enough with the basketball to bring it down as a point guard, a playmaker. I wasn't tall enough to be the center. So I was sort of a forward where I would play down low when needed, but I would also go outside. And so I think that's what Wayne's talking about. That's really old school terminology, really. I don't know that they use that today.
You young enough you don't remember 2 guards, a center, and 2 forwards, or you remember, but you play at that?
That's exactly the way I played.
Okay. Well, let me think.
I also say this, I've been watching my son play football for Silsbee High, then went and was signed and played football at Mississippi College. And my daughter was a state powerlifter for Silsbee. And
Powerlifter?
She placed 8th in the state, and then my baby daughter was academic all-state in basketball. So spent over a decade in the stands watching various sports of Silsbee High School play.
Is that Heather or Lauren?
As Lauren was the powerlifter, and Mary was the basketball player. And Wes was football and baseball.
Okay. All right. Now, you got a son-in-law, too, though, hadn't you?
Not yet.
You got a grandson, huh?
I have a grandson, I do.
Okay.
7 months old.
Great. What's his name?
Easton Scott Moody, named after me.
Scott Moody?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, you got some interesting stuff, I know. Hey, where were you born?
I was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
You a Cajun?
Well, no, I'm Swamp Irish, but
I
like the Cajun food, Swamp Irish.
There you go. Okay, and then where other places have you lived?
Basically East Texas. After graduating from college in Lake Charles at McNeese State University,
yes,
went to school in Fort Worth. I basically lived along Highway 96, Sabine County, Jasper County, now Hardin County.
All righty. Okay, now that's well and good. Some of the things I want to, what's the best decision you've ever made in your life? Do you know you got time to think about that, or you want to come back to it?
I can tell you now, it was to trust Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. That was the best decision I've ever made. And then it was to marry Lori Rice. God bless me with a great wife. Oh,
Lord, been good to me too. All right, that's great. Okay, How about a best buddy or best friend, or without a doubt, knowing you and knowing your personality and having listened to you and watched you, you probably have a bunch of best buddies. Do you have a best buddy?
I don't know if I have a best friend. I have a lot of good friends.
You'll name some of them?
Well, today I had lunch with Joe Whitted. You need to get him on this program. He's an all-state basketball official.
Oh, okay.
He officiated in the state tournament 2
Good.
years ago.
Good. Well, I'll write that down.
And I know he'd be a great addition to this program, bring some great insights. He told me some stories today, some things that happened just this season, just a few weeks ago on the basketball court. And so he's a great official, and so just enjoyed spending time with him today.
Well, one time I saw him refereeing, and I happened to be broadcasting. He said, "Don't tell him I'm refereeing. It happened to be our hometown team, or somewhere way off. They didn't know he's from here," and I didn't tip him. He did a good job.
I would be with Joe outside, the Silsbee, and he'd run into people, and they would say, "Well, I know you. Where have I seen you?" And he would not want to admit that he was an official because he didn't know whether to duck or pucker.
Yeah. There you go. Well, let's see then. You have some unusual something, like one time I boiled off a wild steer. That's my unusual, but when I was a kid. But you got something unusual in your life you'd like to tell us what happened?
Well, just let me tell you a football story.
Okay, that's good.
Sports. Just about how we always need to be prepared and keep our guard up. We were running goal line offense, and I was left in. I was in tight. And that's where you run the ball from the 5-yard line, and you just run your offense. And so we had a defense up against us, and we were supposed to, the ball would be snapped, and we would fire off the ball into our opposing man. I had a defensive end on me. So the ball was snapped, and I fired into him, came off my block, and he offered no resistance. I just pushed him right out of the end zone. So after a few times of that happening, I just sort of dropped my guard, and so the ball would snap, and I would just sort of play patty cake with him. I didn't block him like I should because he wasn't giving me any resistance. So what I didn't realize was he was setting me up. So then we called a play. I lined up, tight end on the left side. The ball was snapped, and I went to block him, and it was nothing but air. He shot past me, hit our quarterback full speed, and dropped him for a loss. Our head coach slammed the clipboard down and began to question my manhood and question my ability to block. I think he even brought something in about my mother, I don't know, and told me if he ever would see me make a block in my lifetime, he would just certainly be pleased and be surprised. Well, I learned a valuable lesson that day, and that is don't ever drop your guard. I should have just pushed him out of the end zone, out of the field, every single time the ball was snapped.
Yeah.
And I learned the hard way that I don't need to ever let my guard down.
We have a man that's going to be telling us about the Bragg ghost. Are you familiar with that? What do you know about the Bragg? You do? Good. Tell us what you know about it.
One time my wife and my daughters and I went and picked up Helen Hare, and we went out to the road, and we turned on, and about halfway down the road we decided just to stop, and we were looking around. All of a sudden we saw some lights coming. And we said, well, we better get back in the car because here comes a car. We got in the car and took off, and I kept expecting to pass that car that we saw coming. And then I look up, all of a sudden the lights are gone. And I thought, well, they turned into a driveway. There were no houses. There was no driveway. There was no culvert where they could have turned. It was just ditches all the way. So we concluded that had to be the ghost light.
There you go.
Because there was no other explanation for those lights.
That's right. They haven't figured it out yet, have they?
They haven't.
We still talk about it.
We do. It's good to talk about it, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got a fella coming that's really, he ran some stuff by me. Woo, I'm excited to see him. Well, let me think. I know what. You're bound to have some pointers or philosophies or something that you can tell about your profession, what some of the things, you just something. He says we've got limited time, but we got plenty of time.
Well,
go ahead, tell us.
Let me just say this, that JP, I'm pastor of First Baptist Church, Silsbee. I've been there. This is going into my 15th year. I'm in my 15th year and about to conclude it. So I'm grateful for the time that I've had there. We really are wanting to have a ministry that reaches all people in the family, a ministry that touches all individuals from adults to youth to children. But one thing that's very special to my heart is to have a ministry to men. Men who love sports, men who love outdoors and hunting, men who love who love their job, men who love to just get out in the truck out on the lease and just mud it up, to just reach men and just share with them. And so we have a ministry there that I'm so proud of. I meet with businessmen on Wednesday mornings. I meet with our men on Wednesday night and on Sunday afternoon sometimes. So we just have a great opportunity there. And I'd like to invite all the men of Silsbee and whoever watch this to come and be a part of what we're doing there at our church, because I really believe what we're doing is vitally important and needed today in our world. Because families are fractured, life is hard, the economy has made life even tougher, and so what a wonderful opportunity to come and spend time with other people, even other men, in a man-friendly environment where they can share their burdens and receive encouragement.
I'm not too sure I heard all what you said, but I do know that Charlie Tarver says, come on down Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock, White, and I went by. Of course, I hear some of this, and I sort of have an idea. But anyhow, that's the best food. You got some cooks down there, some guys that fix you the best food, and that was really a treat. But anyhow, they have some kind of that's one of the things you mentioned, that some philosophy, and that's not just the people from Baptist Church, is it?
We have men. I spoke today at it. We have Baptists, we have Presbyterians, we have Episcopalians, we have all kinds of
Methodists. The judge was Methodist. He said, man, this is the best deal I know of in town.
We have a great time, and they can really cook.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're telling me, Brother Moody, that we're about to finish our time, and unless, I know, we could do another interview where you can tell us things and the way you know them, and you're a real good speaker. What do you want to add? Anything else you want to add?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity. You're a local legend, JP. You've done your job, you've done it well, and I just appreciate the excitement you bring to Silsbee and to Silsbee sports and just even to our community. So I want to say thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. SportsSpeak Sports. That's it for this week. We'll have another edition later.